This week, I stopped forcing content and everything started flowing again. Welcome to my week 25 recap of being a YouTube content creator. As always, let's start with the stats. I now have 28 videos and 9 shorts published on my channel. This week, I got 1,550 views. Of that, 1,177 were for a short that I published. I got 43 likes and 0 dislikes. I gained 5 new subscribers, and I have 42.2 watch hours. This week, I focused a lot on recording content. Originally, I had scheduled in my planner to do a cooking video on cooking a color of the rainbow. And the color of the rainbow that I had selected was going to be white. So I already planned out everything on the menu that I was going to make that was all white items. And I just had to execute it. But for some reason, I had a lot of resistance towards filming that particular video. And what I did is I decided to restructure what I was going to do. Because the last couple of weeks have been kind of hectic for my life, first starting with the business travel. And so while I was on business travel, I ate out a lot. I got back and we went on a mini vacation to a rodeo. And then so we ate out there. Then I got back and then we went immediately the following week on another mini vacation to Fort Worth, where we also ate out a lot. So this week, I really wanted to focus on eating more at home. And what I did is instead of forcing myself to do that, rainbow menu of white, I decided to restructure and film everything that I was cooking to get back on track. And so I did get a cooking video filmed, but I didn't do the one that I was resistance toward. I just went ahead and filmed the things that I was already working on. The other things that I focused on recording this week was working in my garden. I actually had a short work week this week because I had PTO on Monday, I worked Tuesday and Wednesday, and then Thursday and Friday I had off. So I really only had a 2-day work week, and that allowed me to really focus a lot on YouTube tasks. What I did later on in the week, because I had the time, was I sat down and I really decided what was the next stages for my channel, and I've decided it's time to move on to the next season. Because I'm finishing out my summer garden, this is the perfect chance to end this season and move on to the next. But let's talk about these seasons. So to my viewers, they're not really seeing any seasons per se because I'm not adding anything that says a season in the title or in the description or anything like that. It's really a trigger for me to know that it's time to move on to the next stages. What I'm thinking to make my seasons more structured is to possibly add an anchor episode at the end of each season where I kind of recap everything that I've done during that time frame, what I've learned, and what I'm changing for the next stages of the next steps of my channel. I'm thinking that by adding those anchor episodes, it could give my seasons a little bit more structure. For research this week, I kind of stumbled into when is a good time to actually publish my videos for my viewers. And I don't know how I even stumbled into this, but I must have been looking into something and it triggered me to do this research. And going into Google AI, I learned that for my viewers who mostly are in the US, the best time to publish is going to be between 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, something like that. And the reason why is by catering to those hours, I can take advantage of the people who are doing, getting out from finishing after school activities or taking lunch breaks if it's around the Central Standard Time, or even folks that are in the Eastern Standard Time getting out of work and looking to find some sort of entertainment. So I did try that this week, and my very first video that I tried releasing at that time frame got more views that first day than all of the views that I've received on my potato harvest video that I published last week. For homesteading, I'm really focusing a lot on researching the things that are going wrong in my garden to see if I can head off losing some plants like I did last time. And doing this type of research has been working so well that I've decided to start recording myself asking Google AI questions and getting those verbal responses back so that I can incorporate them into my video. So in order for me to do that, because I have to do my research on my phone, I've pulled out my Insta360 again and started using it again. And surprisingly, I'm loving it. For video editing this week, I did edit and scheduled to publish a video this week fairly early into the week, and I think it's just because I had the extra time to do it with all the days off. But I ended up going back and redoing the ending of that video. It seemed a little bit unfinished to me, and I wasn't really happy with it. So even though on Wednesday I worked late into the night since I was off Thursday, I worked late into the night to edit and schedule to publish the video. On Friday, I came back, I redid the ending, and then I rescheduled it to publish again. For scripting this week, it's been really light, and really, I've kind of been focusing on how I can make content for my channel a little less structured, I guess, the way that I want to put it. Because most of my previous videos that I've done to date have all been around a specific project, I'm trying to see if I can do videos where it's not so project driven, because there's times where I just don't want to work on my project. For example, the rainbow menu that I didn't want to do, I ended up just restructuring it and filming the regular meals that I was going to cook. And so I want to think about how can I incorporate more of my daily life into these videos where I'm not constantly having to work on a special project or a big project to create content. I also don't want to make it where it's too vlog style, because I'm not trying to create a vlog. I'm trying to create a cinematic footage type of video where people are following along in a journey, and I'm trying to make it more interesting, more story-like, not a true vlog. For recording this week, I recorded a whopping 346 clips. As I mentioned earlier, a lot of that filming was filming my dinners and then also working out in the garden because I had all the extra time from all the days off. But what I've also noticed is that because of the summer heat, I'm not really getting as much cinematic footage as I was in the beginning. I'm kind of just trying to race through, get all my gardening tasks done, get them recorded, and get back in the house where the AC is, because it's just too hot and stressful for me. So I'm recording super early in the morning when I'm doing gardening stuff. I'm recording super early in the morning before 10 a.m. when the real heat starts. And then I don't get back outside until after 8 p.m. when the sun kind of falls behind the tree line in the back of my house and it starts to cool off just a bit. I've been really surprised with my Insta360, and I've only filmed like one full day with it. I pulled it out, I believe it was Friday night to record some research that I was doing. And then Saturday, I didn't record anything because we had the holiday and we were just with our families and friends the whole day. And then Sunday, I recorded again, and I recorded solely with the Insta360, and I'm falling back in love with it. I'm just surprised with myself why I didn't give it more of a chance. I know why I gravitated more to my iPhone, because I'm just comfortable with it. I'm used to using it. But I'm going back to my Insta360, especially outside when it's hot. It's so lightweight. It's easy to move around. It was much easier to use than my iPhone. And so I'm falling back in love with it. And Sunday, I recorded solely with the Insta360, both my gardening tasks and all the food that I cooked. I've decided, with the exception of my recaps, because I do need the microphone and I don't have a microphone for my Insta yet, that I'm going to focus on using just the Insta as I'm recording through this entire week, or the next week that comes up. I'm going to focus on just using the Insta. I'm worried because, again, I don't have a microphone for it. So I'm hoping that anything that I record, the audio comes out through okay. But in the meantime, I am going to focus on just using it. And then if the audio doesn't come out good, I'll just do some voiceovers. Did I have to spend any money on my channel this week? I did not spend any money, but depending on how good the Insta works for me in the next couple of weeks, as I focus on using solely the Insta, I might have to invest in a microphone that would work good with that camera. For my schedule this week, with so many days off, it was very easy to stick to any of the tasks that I had. I did actually, for my Friday workout, I did end up skipping it only because I was doing a lot of weightlifting activities in the garden. I had to move a whole bunch of sand from we had a sandbox for my nephews, and we decided to take it over to their house. And so I had to transport all that sand into baggies and then over to my car and then over to their house and then into their backyard. And that was very heavy weightlifting activity. So I decided that was good enough for my strength training for that day. And so I did do my strength training on Monday, and then I did it on Wednesday. And then Friday, I did the sand transport, which was my strength training for the day. Saturday was the only day that I didn't do anything. That's because it was the 4th of July here in the United States. And so I took the day off along with everybody else. Do I have any accomplishments for this week? And no, I can't say there's anything I can list as an accomplishment. For emotions this week, I had a grueling 2-day work week. Just kidding. So because I only worked 2 days on my 9 to 5, it was actually a really nice week. I really got a chance to focus on my channel in an unstressed way. So I really got to just really record any content that I wanted. Well, the dinners that I was cooking, I didn't force myself to do the rainbow menu. I recorded the stuff around the garden as I came to do them. I just picked up the camera and I was recording. So it was really unstressed as far as recording because I didn't have to worry about my 9 to 5 for 3 out of the 5 days. But what I did have a challenge with is my hair. And so I have been straightening my hair because I believe with my hair straightened, I just look a little bit more cleaner, a little bit more put together for being on camera, but it's really putting a toll on my hair, all that heat. And so I've decided to try to start wearing my hair curly again. I just feel like it looks messy and more unkempt while I'm filming and while I'm on camera. And especially early in the mornings when I'm trying to get out into the garden before the heat starts, I just want to get out there as fast as I can. So I'm brushing my teeth, I'm washing my face, and I'm getting out there and I'm just tying my hair back. And so it looks to me on camera like it's very messy, it's unkempt, it's undone. But it's just because my hair is just, that's the way it is when it's curly. When it's straightened, it just looks cleaner. It looks more put together, but then I'm risking the health of my hair. So I'm trying to find that balance on, looking good on camera. I don't wear makeup, and so I don't feel like I have to put on a face of makeup, but I do feel like my hair needs to be well put together to be on camera. And that's been one of the challenges I've really been working through over the last couple of weeks as I'm trying to keep my hair more natural, but also look put together for these videos. It's time to go over my goals, and let's start with my happy planner. So with my happy planner, again, I'm scheduling my dinners, my strength training, and my YouTube tasks. And for my dinners, I wrote them all in and I did stick to them because I filmed them all. And so those were good with. For my strength training, I scheduled my strength training on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday during my lunch hours. For Monday and Wednesday, I was able to do them just fine. But for Friday, I replaced my strength training with moving the sand around. And that I didn't actually write into my planner. I had my strength training written into my planner, but at the last minute I decided to transport all that sand over so I can organize my patio a little bit better. And after doing all that weightlifting, I decided that was good enough for the day. For my YouTube tasks, on Monday, I filmed my recap, and then on Tuesday, I edited my recap and I scheduled it to publish. On Tuesday, I also started editing my next video, and I recorded some footage in the garden for content for future videos. On Wednesday, I edited again and I worked late into the night finishing that video editing. And then I also filmed some more garden tasks, and I actually filmed my dinners as well. I filmed dinners on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday so far. On Thursday, I finalized my summer garden, so I filmed that. I also filmed my dinner, and then that's it. On Friday, I filmed more garden content. I filmed our dinners, and then I also redid the ending to the video I had originally scheduled to publish on Wednesday night. I updated that ending and I rescheduled to publish it. Friday was also when I did some research on the ending of my season and starting to look into possible anchor episodes. And so that was also some of the things I looked into on Friday. Saturday, I did no tasks. We went to the pool party. We enjoyed the 4th of July. I relaxed all day long. So no YouTube work and no regular work on that day. And then on Sunday, I spent the day recording in the garden and recording in the kitchen, where I focused using mostly the Insta. I think so. On Sunday, I recorded 62 clips on my Insta and only 8 clips on my iPhone. My next goal is to journal daily, and that is to help me think about some ideas that I can incorporate into my channel. So I did daily almost every day. I think I did miss the morning of the 4th of July. I didn't film on that day, but every other day I did journal, and I got one new idea to include for my content, for future content into my channel. My third goal is the physical one, to help me lose weight, because I have gained about 20 pounds since I started this journey on YouTube, and that is to track my food into my Fitness Pal. I did pretty good for almost every single day, But I think closer to the end of the week, especially on the 4th of July, I did not track accurately. I did not track my 4th of July food. I tracked my breakfast, but after that, once we went over to the pool party and started eating, I didn't track any of that stuff. Sunday, I got back on track and I did start tracking again. But I did overeat on the holiday. Absolutely, for sure. And there is no regrets on that because that's what the holidays are for. Again, they're scattered in between throughout the year. And so when we are going to have fun and enjoy our family and enjoy our friends, and they're making all this wonderful food for us, of course, I'm going to enjoy it. My last goal is to create a short every other week. And this week I created 2 shorts because I had thought them up and I just wanted to get them created right away. So I was really excited. And so I went ahead and created them. I only scheduled one to be published and the other one is pending for a future video. Something that I'm considering with the shorts is because they are short enough and they're in the right format is to release them on TikTok and Instagram. I just don't know the timing of it. If I should wait for my YouTube video that they're going to be linked to go public before I release them, or if I should just go ahead and release them and then maybe link them later because I'm still publishing the short on YouTube the week that the video goes live, but this is just extra content that I could throw out in other places. So I'm thinking maybe that's an option. I just don't know about the timing and if there's somebody who's both on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube, if they're going to see it prior to the actual YouTube video and the short being published on YouTube. So I'm still thinking through if it makes sense to publish them earlier or just wait and publish them all the week that the video goes live. Do I have any milestones for this week? And no, I can't say that there's any milestones I can list for this week. My friend, that is going to wrap up week 25 of being a YouTube content creator. I want to thank you for the privilege of your time, and I hope to see you again next week.